Hello, Joanna.
Hello, Mr. Marson. How
How
are
are you?
you? I'm good.
Who's going first?
You can go first.
How are you doing? What's going on?
Nothing. I feel good. I had good breakfast with you today in the morning. We did our walk. It was our date. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, we should be talking about eating less food, not more food. But basically, what we did was our standard walking thing, and we did I think 45 minutes before we sat down. We ate within our sort of bumpers, so the food was what it's supposed to be, health choices. But before we go any further, why are we here?
We are here to lose weight together and show people how we're doing it using intermittent fasting as well as decreasing our sugars. Um, and just showing our people our ups and downs. We're towards the end of our 40s, so it's not as easy as we were in the 30s, but we can definitely do it.
Yeah. So it applies for to everybody because the principles are the same. So if you're 20 something, you can watch. If you're 70 something, you can watch. But we're pretty much if you think of yourself as like if you're within, let's say 35 to 55 optimally, kind of that's where we are. So my marketing statement is old people showing old people how to lose weight and still stay healthy. So the thing is we are watching our sugar because we're trying. We don't just go nuts. With hitting the gym every day and not eating at all. We're combining the weight loss with just sort of healthy way of doing it, and it's a very realistic picture of what happens in the course of like 12 months. So sometimes you'll see the weight going down, sometimes you'll see weight going up, as long as the trajectory is sort of the right way. Joanna is very consistent. She goes little by consistently. I go nuts sometimes, then I gain, then I go nuts again, then I gain, and so it's a very different story for us. But that's what we're here to talk about. What's the main topic for today?
The main topic is the 24-hour fast. We are going to just go briefly over intermittent, what it means, why we use it, and why you want to use a 24-hour fast, why I use it, and I'll show you how it works
Yeah,
by looking at last week's numbers.
yeah, and if you're watching the episode on YouTube, you can. It would be awesome if you guys could join us in the Facebook group because that's where we shared most of the information, all the cheat sheets, all the stuff that we're posting, files. Also, episodes. YouTube may be 2 episodes behind, so if you're interested in more current information, hop onto the Facebook group. The link should be somewhere in the description. Same if you're listening on Spotify, maybe, or Apple Podcast. Same thing applies. First, before we talk about the main topic, we always go through numbers. We kind of show you what happened in the last week, so that you guys understand what's happening for both me and Joanna. Joanna, your numbers. You struggled a little bit. You said something last week. What was going on, and where'd you end up?
Yes, so during my regular female cycle, there is a week where you gain a little bit more weight, and it's hard to get it off. And that was my last week. No matter what I did, it seemed to be around 188, 189. So I knew that I had to force my body to give up this weight. That there's no baby coming. We don't need to bulk up. We need to get rid of it, and that's when I used the 24-hour to 36-hour fast. And if you go to the next picture, please,
Okay.
you'll see that I weighed myself. So my last week number was 185.8. Then that whole week I was hovering on between 189 to 188. Even I hit 190 at one point. So that I knew that's my week. I had to force my body to get rid of all this, and the best way to do it is increase your non-eating window. So I jumped on the scale to show you guys that I was 188. I did not eat for over 24 hours, and I jumped on the scale, and it was at 184.8. And that's where it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep. It's not like I lost it now. It's gonna come all back. It won't, because now it pushed my body to get rid of that weight. So don't worry about that. If you use this longer fast window, you will not get the weight back. If of course you're gonna continue doing your fasting and eating the right things.
Yeah. Cool.
So
I noticed that you've included this reading, glucose reading. Can you tell us more about it? What's going on here?
So I also wanted to show you guys that sometimes we worry so much about our glucose numbers being so low. But for some of us, it naturally just isn't. Some of us hover a little bit higher. With time, it will decrease because my fasting glucose used to be at 108, 105. So we're over a year of doing this, and my fasting glucose after over 24 hours of not eating is at 94, as you see, and that is perfectly fine. I am happy with the decrease already that I'm seeing. So don't stress about it. It's a work in progress. Keep going. Also on that picture, I'm not sure if we can see the bottom, but on the bottom it shows my ketone. So, of course, we want our ketones to be higher. We want them to be 1.0 and higher. Um, as you see, again, I am one of these people that it takes me a while for my ketones to start kicking in. And it's okay. Again, the more longer fast I do, the faster my body's going to know what to do and to throw in those ketones. If Marcin, let's say, does a 24-hour fast, his ketones shoot up there much quicker than mine do. But with time, my body will catch up as well.
Yeah, and you say that, and I got to tell you, it's a choice. So as I always say, you have the dial of how fast you want to see things, but then that translates into how uncomfortable things are going to get, right? So if you want to see something quicker, like if you want to see those numbers jump quickly and change quickly, then that means you got to do a 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour,
Yeah.
and if you're not there yet, no sweat, right? You'll get there eventually. The numbers will take longer to adjust, but they will adjust. It's not a question. We promise it will change. If I want to see the numbers change quickly, I push to like a 24, 48, and then I see a bigger change immediately. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, cool. But I got to tell you, myself, knowing where I am, how old I am, I try not to get aggressive. For me, it's a sort of long-term goal. So I don't try to experiment. The more I push, the more aggravated I get, right? So that's just what it is. Before I show you my results, Thursday I headed out. I headed down south. I was actually on Thursday. I was in West Palm Beach, and Friday I was in Miami. It was super confusing because this is a picture I took when I was sending to us. I think it's called side something, some side Bayside Market. And Miami's getting ready for Christmas, so all the decorations are there, popping Christmas decorations left and right. And I was standing there. It was about 82 degrees, so it was kind of confusing because your brain connects it to Christmas, but then it feels like middle of July. But if you're ever are planning on visiting Miami, highly recommended. I actually had lower expectations for Miami based on the things I've heard. And I got to tell you, definitely a place super safe, very nice. Downtown, the one area to check out, the Bayside Market or whatever, another one. Little Havana, which is about 10 minutes, super cool, super safe. I drove by, looked like a lot of people had fun. It was just restaurants and music and great time overall. And then Ocean Drive, obviously, this is the main strip right across from the beach where you just sit and all it is just restaurants and feels and looks like Miami because it's all pink and blue and colors and music and a lot of good Cuban food, and not only that, but other food. And if you love cars, definitely a place to sit. So that was it. And because of that Cuban food, my weight this week, let's look, 261. So I went up 5.5 pounds, and I don't really sweat it. You guys have seen me in previous episodes. Whenever something different happened, and I notice, especially if it's impacting my sleep, if I just eat something different, not necessarily bad, but if I change my diets when I go off of my standard list of like meals, always problem with water retention, always gain at least 4 pounds. So this one was 5.2, I believe. 261 right now. As you'll see, another bump up. So guess what? Good topic to take the 24-hour, because I'm probably going to be looking at 20 hours of not eating and 2 hours of eating for at least next 3 days. I'll be posting the results to the Facebook group, so you can then see kind of like what Joanna did, like to show you that it's okay when you go up a little bit, because it will go down. It's not a question of not going down. If I stick to my if I extend my not eating window, if I eat my regular foods,
Yeah.
you'll see that 5 pounds will drop, not a question. So that's my goal for this week, and I think that was it for numbers. So 24-hour fast. I know you have a list of things. You want to kick us off?
Yes. So let's start with a simple of intermittent fasting, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means basically not eating for at least 12 hours. So this is just a review, you guys. There's other episodes that you could watch that we really went into this. But basically, it's 12 hours of not eating. In that and you want to increase that window as much as you can to not eating at least 16 to 17 hours. Um, it has tons of benefits. Some of the benefits that it will decrease your blood sugar. It will decrease your fasting glucose. Like I mentioned, you guys, I was at about 105, 108. Now my fasting glucose is about at 95. That's a big difference for your body. It may not be like a number difference, but it's a big difference for for your body. You will decrease your hemoglobin A1C, which is basically tests the sugar buildup around your organs. You want to have that as little as possible, as well as C-reactive protein. So basically, these are all internal changes that it will do, as well as a 24-hour fast. Basically, cleans out your gut. You're cleaning out your gut of bad bacteria is very important because the good bacteria has a lot of benefits. Some of the benefits, it will naturally decrease lower your blood sugar. It will enhance your neurotransmitters to communicate and work better, as well as again balancing your sugar. It does all these wonderful things. So why would you, me, or anybody would want to do this fasting lifestyle, right? So you want to do this if you're in a constant brain fog. The reason why is we talk a lot about ketones. Ketones are the energy source that your liver produces, instead of you eating your energy source. Your energy source that you eat is not always reliable. It's not always consistent because it's very dependent on what you eat. If you eat, of course, carbohydrates, if you eat sugars, you'll have lots of energy in the beginning, but at the end, you will crash. Whereas if you're in a longer fast, your ketones kick in. The energy that your body uses, it burns the fat that you have stored over the years, and that energy is consistent. It almost feels never ending, and you are clear, sharp. It's an awesome feeling. I recommend for a lot of people to do that. Another important thing is anything about that, Marcin, because I want to go into autophagy after 17 hours of not eating.
Yeah, before you get there, so the other thing I also say, I understand, totally understand what you're talking about. The way I think about it is, a lot of times we are actually, as we grow up, we develop this belief that in order for us to exist, we have to eat, which is true.
Yes.
But we have to understand that your body is super smart, and it switches between two different operational states. One is where it takes energy from food. One is where it takes energy from stored food. So if you're overweight like us,
Mhm.
your body, the second you stop eating, it'll signal you that it's another, when it's again time to eat. That's normal. That's just your hormones being released. Between 1 hour to 2 hours, your body will be signaling. You'll get that hunger. Very often we sort of go over that, and we're like, oh, I was hungry, but like, I guess I'm not hungry anymore. It's because of your hormones being regulated. And your body, after a while, after signaling you once or twice, that 12-hour window Joanna is talking about, after 12 hours, your body goes, hey, I guess food is not showing up. We got to tap into stored resources. Your stored resources is your fat in your body, and that's what the body will do. What happens is, when you're eating a lot of carbs and sugars and bad stuff, that process from like let's say you've never intermittent fast you have never done intermittent fasting before, it's your day one and you suddenly don't want to eat for let's say 14 hours, it's going to be really 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 uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
the general advice is start slow. First maybe start with trying not to eat. Let's say you have your breakfast at 9 and your dinner at 9 p.m. That's your 12-hour window. Start there and then slowly adjust to 13 hours of non-eating and 14 and 15 and 16, and then settle with whatever number is comfortable, but also at the same time causes you to lose weight. That's sort of like the rule of thumb. That's the best way to do it. You can always push it if you need to get to your weight loss faster, but try to find a comfortable spot, and then just sort of experiment. If you gain more, like for myself, I came back now. I'm gonna do a 20-hour not eating, which is sounds crazy for somebody that's just starting. For me, totally doable for 3 days. I basically just have one meal. I have one snack within 2 hour period. And then does it feel comfortable in the morning when I push to like 2 p.m.? No. Does it feel comfortable when I go to bed? Am I a little hungry? I am. So it's not designed to be super comfortable. But again, I want to get my 5 pounds back. So I am more aggressive. That's why I'm pushing more. And that's by choice, right? It doesn't have to be this way. I could just go for another 2 weeks and have my 16-8 windows, and I would just get there slower. I choose to get there faster, and the body switches from the anabolic of building to catabolic of breaking down, eats your fat as a source of fuel, and that's what we're doing.
All right. So the next fast that is worth mentioning, which is like kind of in order, which is 17 to 72 hours and further. But that is what we want to talk about is autophagy, and autophagy to me is very important. It's the part where your body naturally knows that in order to survive and get energy, it's going to start eating all the garbage inside your body. Your cells will actually eat the bed cells around it for energy, which is awesome because it's a cleanup process. This cleanup process should be used during detox. So you went away, like let's say, like Marcin was saying, he went away. Now he's going to push his body to start cleaning it itself. As well as improve your brain function because your brain loves cleanup. That's why we sleep. Part of it. It's important to get good sleep because your brain needs cleanup. It also enjoys this not eating window period because again, ketones kick in, you get energy, and you start cleaning up your body from the inside. Um, this is also used for cancer patients. It's very popular in other countries, but it's starting to be introduced here in the United States as well. Cancer patients go on a 5-day fast usually. So autophagy, body can clean up itself, the cancer cells, and then the rest is killed off by radiation or by chemo. Less harmful for your body overall. So I think it's a very cool process. All right, you guys, 24-hour gut reset. All right. So you have all these beneficial things happening, but the most beneficial thing is after at 24 hours and beyond, you start killing off all the bad bacteria in your gut. This bad bacteria will cause you to gain weight, brain fog, um, inflammation. People pay lots and lots of money to get, oh, as well as another important fact that at that time, your stem cells start being produced and start being thrown into areas where things need to regrow, rebuild. People pay lots of bucks to have into their intestines inserted stem cells. You could do this all by yourself. Just don't eat for 24 hours once a week. It will push your weight a little bit further. It will reset your gut bacteria, which your gut bacteria now has been linked to everything, your whole body, how it functions and how you feel, your brain. I mean, amazing things. So you definitely want to hit this area at least I like to hit it once a month, and it's recommended for women at my age to hit it once a month. Once a week. But if you do it once a month, that's great. So when do we want to use this? Let's say you've been using antibiotics for a while, and as you know, antibiotics will kill the bacteria that we want to get rid of, but as well, it kills off all your good bacteria. If you naturally don't eat for one day, you will get rid of all that bad bacteria and start regrowing good bacteria in your gut. um, Offset birth control. I never knew this. I took birth control over years and years. Birth control causes lots of yeast in your intestines as well as inflammation. So every so often, if you do stop eating for 24 hours, it will help you with all that. Um, and again, bacteria growing in your small intestine. Your small intestine should not have any bacteria, but it ends up happening if it overgrows, right? Your bacteria overgrows. You're lucky. You have that what they call the leaky gut syndrome. 24-hour fast will help you with that because it will start restoring and closing your gut off. So you can start experiencing that less and less. um yeah, so that's about it for 24-hour. I don't know, anything that you want to add to the benefits of it?
Benefits, no. Um, I want to make it more operational, and then probably you're going to talk about it. I want to hear
Yeah.
what actually happens. Let's say I want, great benefits. Okay. What should I expect? Right. Let's pretend I never did 24-hour fast. How does it feel? What should I expect? What are the sort of things that are common? You know what I mean? So do you have that on
Yeah,
your?
I do. That's my next
Okay.
point.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So as you guys, like I've said, I've done this already a couple times. What works the best? The day before you decide to do your 24-hour, um, eat as minimal carbohydrates as possible so your body doesn't crave them. It makes the fast much easier. For me, it helps if I make sure I drink enough of water for the day before. Drink your 2 to 3 liters of water. And then I stop eating. I like to do this personally. I stop eating around between 3 and 4, because then you got the afternoon. Afternoon, I am busy. Then I go to sleep. I wake up. When you wake up, you're not hungry. You just keep going. I'll have my coffee, let's say around between 10 and 11 o'clock with my MCT oil or with grass fed butter. That tiny bit of calories will sort of take the edge of the hunger away if I have any. And then next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've done my 24 hours. So that is the easiest. Within that 24-hour window, though, make sure you drink enough of water. Keep track of that. It will definitely help you. It will help you clean out your gut. It will help you. Those of you that get headaches will help you not to get a headache. Um, and overall, just you'll see better results with making sure you drink enough of water. So, does that help you out?
Does that help me out? No. So I want to slow it down even more, because I think sometimes when somebody's trying it for the first time, can still be overwhelmed. So I agree with you with the whole preparation deal with like carbohydrates. Don't go crazy. For me,
Mhm.
one other thing is sleep, because if I, let's say, if I'm partying on Friday, go to bed at 2 a.m. and I have a plan that I'm going to be doing 24-hour fast the next morning, it's
Yeah.
not something you want to do. So you want to make sure that you have the sleep, that you don't wake up with the next day with headaches, and that you're actually ready for it, right? So it's not something that should be treated loosely, like, oh, I'm just not going to eat. Like it gets a little challenging. So sleep, less carbohydrates. We finish. You said 3, 4 o'clock for you. For
Mhm.
me, it's later. It's 5, 6. For whatever reason, it just
Yeah.
works this way. Um, and then so that day we stop eating at dinner. Let's call it dinner, second meal time, right?
Mhm.
So we stop eating. What can we expect that evening? So we eat. Typically, 3 hours later, we feel the hunger, right? So now we're talking. It's probably 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but that
How
should
should
be
we
your
how should we
regular.
deal with that?
That is your regular fasting window once you stop eating. So do whatever you do in the evening. Everybody has a different routine. Some people go to sleep. Some people, I like to have tea, or I like to have my water with lemon for the evening, and then you go to sleep. As you all know by now, those of you that are doing this lifestyle, you wake up in the morning, you're not that hungry. Again, you drink your water, you do whatever you do. When it hits your normal eating window and you feel the hunger a tiny bit, that's when I recommend doing that coffee with butter or MCT oil, or going for a walk. We have a list on our Facebook group. One of the posts is what you can have as a little snack, if you really think you're not going to make it to your 24 hours. And that could be half of avocado, a teaspoon of any nut butter, again without sugar, just plain nut butter. It can be your coffee with MCT oil or with butter, as well as electrolytes. Like Marcin, you like to take your electrolytes, they help you. What else? There was something else, nut butter, avocado.
Guys,
Jeez.
again, we need to stop. Okay, stop. Too fast. Too fast. I understand you're talking to people that are implementing it already. They may be even familiar with the, like when you're talking about electrolytes and element and the salts, and but let's go back. Let's go back again. 5, 6 o'clock. You're finishing your meal, and I'm talking about somebody that is just trying for the first time. Somebody that may actually have been listening to some of the episodes, but like did not retain the information. They don't sort of can immediately throw. So it's a step by step sort of a guide, right? So 5 o'clock, they have their meal. 3 hours later, literally, they're gonna be signaled to eat. At that time, we're not jumping 6 hours later. 3 hours later, they will feel hunger. So what do you do at that point? Are you like, I know you probably you can ignore it because you have already tools and the knowledge around it, but 3 hours later they feel a little hungry. What should they do?
You drink a warm liquid, I would say. I think warm liquids
Okay,
help me, but again, I everybody's different. Like I said, I have a tea or I have water with lemon, and then I go to sleep.
perfect. So for me, also I'm different. I don't have the warm water and the lemon. I usually element or salt. So here's we're talking about the Joanna mentioned electrolytes. It's the magnesium, potassium, and what am I missing? Calcium.
Calcium, I believe. Yeah.
What are the three? It's part of the. It's a powder element, but if you don't have it, it's a thing you can pick up on Amazon. We can probably include the link below. If you don't have it, salts, and I'm not talking about iodized regular white salt. That's not maybe too healthy for you. We're talking about salts like Baja salt or Celtic salt. Those are the best salts you can get with natural minerals in the salt. And I got to tell you, it's not going to fill you up. It's not going to feel the same as eating, but it will definitely take the edge off once the body absorbs the minerals with water, whether it's element or salts. It makes it a little easier. So we're now talking. It's 8 o'clock. Some people eat super late, so they may actually get another wave of like being hungry. This is I think where it gets really tough, because if somebody pulls to like, not everybody goes to bed at 9 o'clock or 9:30.
Hmm.
Some people go to bed at 11 o'clock, and I think 11 is the like 10, 11 o'clock is the most challenging, because this is when like your motivation muscle is just worn out. You're usually a little more aggravated. Your brain is just asking for something to like, hey, anything that will they will get the dopamine and the energy into your
Yeah.
body is attacking you. So I think my weapon for this is, like we always say, just go to bed earlier. As weird as it may sound, it's one of the tools. Like just go to bed and try, lay down and try to go to sleep earlier. Um, but also the way I fight with it is that's exactly the reason why I stop eating at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, because it shortens this evening window, and I think it's the guys versus girls game. You seem to handle it better when you have that long window in the afternoon. I don't mind the long window from the morning to 6 o'clock or 7, but evenings are worse. I don't know. Maybe it's a personal thing, but is there any recommendations from your end for like 10 p.m. Outside of what I
Eh,
said?
no, because you don't want to eat before you sleep anyway.
Correct.
So if I recommend just sucking it up and not eating, you know.
That's a method right there. So, and that's exactly what it is. As I said earlier, it's not supposed. This is not designed to be comfortable. This is designed to be effective and to make you lose weight. So yeah. So we just go to bed at some sort of a normal time, 9:30. We're not eating before bed. It's just bad for you in general, and you're gonna mess up the whole thing, right? So that's what it is. Then we get up in the morning. Let's say for those that didn't see the episodes about measuring sugar levels, so they reach for their keto mojo meter. They're measuring it, and like they have not been eating since 4 p.m. They look at their sugar levels, and it's 118. Should they be concerned?
Not at all. So in the morning, our sugar level is higher. It should be higher because your body is ramping up to start acting in its energy. So everything is increased. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like
Just keep
starting your
going.
motor. It's like starting your motors in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Your body gets ready. So like, don't measure your sugar first thing in the morning, because a lot of us are going to be like, okay, it's the next day, let's measure.
Yeah.
Actually, a bad idea. So wait at least, I want to say 2 hours, 1 hour at
Yeah.
least,
2 hours.
and then measure. For those of you that maybe do a walk in the morning or some sort of activity, maybe you're walking your kids to the bus. Just wait it out and then come back. Don't eat anything before measuring. Then measure first and then eat or drink or whatever you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And when we say eat, it's not, we're on this thing for 24 hours, so obviously you're not grabbing regular breakfast. But if you are, but if you're doing like the water and the salts and whatever, then do that. For me personally, MCT oil, because it gives me 100 calories, does not break my fast, or it increases the sugar levels insignificantly. So for me personally, and I had to test it, I had to drink a couple times and measure, and it's like, oh, not affecting me that much. So most likely not. For Joanna, it may be a different story. I don't have my element in the morning. The minerals, I think they're affecting me more, so I try to stay away from them. Those are more like a go-to for when I really like I'm starting to feel hungry. If I
Yeah.
have that thing in the morning, it's MCT oil or salt. Just cold water, pinch of salt. Have that, takes the edge off again. In the morning, no issue. And then we get to about, I don't know, regular person, maybe 10 o'clock. We're starting to feel hungry again, right? And it's the
Mhm.
same sort of ritual that we did the night before, right? Again, element, salt. Um how about broth? No, because we're talking about
No,
24-hour water, just water, right?
just water.
Um,
Yeah.
or things like element, salt, uh, coffee. You mentioned tea, and there's a list in the Facebook group. When you go in, you can download the
Correct.
file, and it actually tells you exactly what is it that you can do. And then what's next? And then we're getting to around lunchtime. Same deal. We're just pushing through this first meal, and then until, like you said, for you 3 4 p.m. Correct?
Correct. You guys, it is going to be uncomfortable. There is no way of doing this to be comfortable. You are programmed to eat. You're programmed
Yep.
to want food.
Yep.
Just suck it up.
Yeah. If
You'll be
you're yeah, if
perfectly
you're
fine.
correct. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. It is uncomfortable. It is going to be uncomfortable. A lot of people I know, when they ask me like, oh, how do you do it? That's one of the reasons why we love things like liposuction or pills, because it's like an
Yeah.
immediate gain, right? And that's why it costs what it costs, because liposuction is instant, and there's really no time or effort, and they can suck out 10 pounds out of you immediately. And then that's one way to do it, or be a little uncomfortable and extend the time period and still get there, right? So
Lose the
uh,
weight. But I'm sorry, Marcin. The thing is, though, you guys, think about it this way. I mean, my mom says, "What drives you to do this?" And I said, "It's it's less about the looks,
yeah,
but it's more about actually fixing myself on the inside, getting healthier from the inside out, so I have more energy when at her age, at 60 something. That's why I'm doing this. So that's why I'm not putting money away for a liposuction. I'm actually, I want to eat my
yeah.
fat from the inside out. Okay, you guys. Um,
Right,
so yeah, so
and the other thing is also when why are we stuck on this liposuction thing? I don't know, but let's
because you
beat
mentioned it.
that horse. The thing is, you can do liposuction tomorrow and spend whatever it is, 10, 20 grand. And if you have bad habits, how long is it going to take before you get there again? And then what? Pay another 10, 20 grand for liposuction? It just doesn't make sense. So, and in between, you're just eating shitty food, right? From one to the other. So it's like, everything is sort of bad about it, right? This is sort of adjusting your way. It gets uncomfortable for a little bit, and you have to remember it's a temporary pain in a way, right? Because a lot of times when I go, like, let's say 1 week, 2, 3, sometimes month and a half, and not having what I would like to have, whether it's ice cream, cookies, or whatever your vice happens to be, it's a temporary pain because remember we are sort of increasing the pressure. It gets uncomfortable, but then we get to lose the weight and just sort of hover around this weight. Like what happens with me right now is, like, I lose 20 and then I hover for about a month. I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down, and then I go hard for another month, right? So it's not like you're depriving yourself off of the thing for your lifetime, because a lot of times that's what it feels like. Oh my god, I'll never have my rolls or whatever, cakes, or it's a temporary pain. We're trying to get to the goal. If you need to pause for a little bit, as long as you're maintaining it and not going haywire, you're gonna be fine. Then you're gonna push for another month or 2 months. So just do that. A lot of people do intermittent fasting during a week. My buddy Marcin is actually going hard during a week, and then on the weekend, I'm not sure if it's 1 day or 2 days, he goes for his vices. So typically, what he's doing is, like, he can sort of mentally keep record of the things that are like, I would go for this, I would go for that, and then weekend comes, and then he usually has one or two things, because that desire for that one thing kind of goes away. On that particular day, he just treats himself for, it's like it's not a cheat. It's a cheat. It's more of a cheat meal than like a cheat day. He's not turning it into, just eating anything in sight. But he just goes for anything, and then he does another week, and the weight comes off, not a problem, not even a question. So yes, I agree with you with that thing being uncomfortable. Just that's what it's doing. Your body is just signaling for food, and that period where, that window of the 12 hours that you're not eating, 12 hours will actually feel, I want to say, super comfortable. After a while, 12 hours of not eating, it's comfortable. That's what we're designed to do. But once you start pushing and getting to 16, even after a while, 16 hours feels comfortable. And 8 hours of eating, because you still get to eat from like 10 o'clock to 6 p.m. Like that's a pretty long window. But anything beyond that, like 18 hours, 20 hours, if you want to do 24, it gets uncomfortable. I remember when we did 3-day fast. First day, because it was our first attempt, felt super uncomfortable. But it wasn't because of not eating, it was more mentally, because I couldn't just wrap my head around the fact that I'm not going to eat for 3 days. So, Joanna just disconnected. She froze gracefully, but I'm gonna reconnect her. Now she's back. So that's it was perfect timing, because I just finished yapping, and I said it's gonna get uncomfortable. So that's that. Where are we going next with this?
So what's important is, so we did this to, one thing was to push our weight a little bit forward, but to start healing our gut, right? So we can continue with losing weight and feeling better. The more and more research I see, you guys, and I've tested it. This my past last fast that I just did this past week. How you break your fast, that's 24 hours and beyond, is very important. You are going to be hungry. You're going to start grabbing food, and when you start grabbing that food, it's very easy to overeat that first meal. Remember, your stomach has not been working for 24 hours. The juices are not flowing like they should be because they didn't have to, and your stomach is sort of resting, and then all of a sudden you're going to put all this food into it. It's not going to feel good. Okay, it's very common at this point, if you're going to not kind of break the fast that I suggest to you, for you to feel, you're going to feel bloated after you finish eating. You're going to feel nauseous, and you might develop stomach pain. That what was happening to me. I never understood it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't eating for so long, and then all of a sudden, like, I eat an hour later, I'm bloated and I'm walking around like I feel like I have extra 15 pounds on me, and like, what is happening? So I looked more and more into this, and I actually did what I'm going to recommend to you guys this time around, and I felt great. I actually had more energy after I ate than ever before, when doing this fast. So first thing you want to do is put in a liquid into your body. The liquid is a broth, whether it's going to be a broth, a chicken broth, beef broth, or a veggie broth. A broth. These have very good nutrients inside that actually coat your whole intestines along the way. It's not a Don't drink like a big pot, just a one cup of broth. I warm it up, I put some spices into it, I drink it, and then I actually waited with my alarm clock 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, I put in some fermented food. Why do we want to put this fermented food? We want to give um, some good bacteria. Remember, we're getting rid of all the bad bacteria, so let's help put some extra good bacteria in there. And those are your fermented foods. Those are your yogurts, your sauerkraut. For me, it's our pickle, our Polish pickles in brimes. That's what I have, as well as kimchi, right? The
Yeah.
cabbage, the
Yeah.
Japanese cabbage. These are all the good things. Wait 15 minutes, and again, not a lot, you guys, just a little bit to get it into you. Next thing, what you want to put in is some prebiotic food. Basically, you put in the good bacteria into your gut. Now you want to feed the good bacteria, and that's how you feed the good bacteria, is the prebiotic food, and those come in all types of veggies. So how I broke this fast this time around, I had my bone broth, a cup. Then I had my pickles and brine for 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes later, I created myself a salad, not a humongous one, but a salad. On top, I put olives, which is a very good fat. I put lots of cilantro. I put chives. You can put mint, any herbs that you like. Along with, I boiled, because the fourth thing that you want to put in is protein, a nice clean protein. And in my case, I put in some 2 eggs in there, and that's it. Put some olive oil, virgin olive oil, and some balsamic vinaigrette, and that's what I ate. It was delicious. It was delicious. It was the right thing for my gut. My stomach felt great. I was not bloated. I did not feel overwhelmed or nauseous, because I would get all these after eating my first meal. And then once I ate this meal, I then started doing some other things around the house, waited 30 minutes, and then I went on to eating whatever I chose to eat as my first meal. Um, so I really, really recommend breaking your fast this way. Um, Even if it's only a cup of broth that you're gonna have first thing, it's better than just going straight into eating a heavy meal.
So I think we had something here that we needed to look at. Are we skipping our whole? I know we had a couple slides here. So
I
this
had
is just
mhm.
to go through that list that you just mentioned. Best way to break it, from when you're done with your fasting, extended fasting, bone broth, fermented foods, probiotic foods, clean
Yep.
protein. Um, I will just quickly say this, that so this was Joanna's way of breaking a fast. Now it's Marsh's version of breaking a fast. I open the fridge, I grab chicken, and I eat it, and that's it. That's really what happens in my world.
But
I'm
you
just
feel okay after
impatient.
that, right?
I'm
Do you
just
feel okay
impatient.
after that? Sorry.
I'm just impatient with when I don't eat it for an extended period of time. I'm just super impatient. I just go for it. But I do agree with what she said, that if you sort of gradually get yourself there, not I have I'll be honest. For me, it's maybe like a two-step thing. I don't try to go crazy. I don't go for bone broth or fermented foods. I either have my glass of water with salt, or like maybe a yogurt would be a good thing. But then immediately after that, I go just for my breakfast, and no problems really. So that's just that's to show you that's not a right wrong way of doing it, of doing this. But if you can, I always look at it like the least work I can do to get to the goal better. And if I don't feel bad about doing that, if I don't have any side effects, then it's that. So you'll find out what it is for yourself when you do one of or two of those fasts, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, Marcin, 100%. Like I said, I did this a couple times, and I wasn't feeling good. So then I started
Yeah.
researching why and what to do to help myself. And I've proven it. I really took my time this time around, and I feel great. I really, really feel great. So I wanted to share with everybody that
Yeah.
it worked
Yeah.
for me.
No,
Um,
definitely. I agree with you, because even with the fermented foods, I should be doing this just because it's for your gut. It's better, and I think it's different for me when we were talking about like 24-hour fast. I know it sounds like, especially for somebody that hasn't done it like a long time, but 24-hour fast is like an entry level prolonged fast, right? So for me, when I do 48 and 72, knowing your stomach, like there's nothing in your stomach for that long, I would never go and like just eat an entire meal straight after the
yeah,
fast. I would definitely take my steps, and I'm totally with you. Water, broth, fermented foods, maybe a little bit of yogurt. Get your body, because the
yeah,
pipes have
but
been cleaned for the last 72 hours. So let that pass first, and then because you may get constipated, you may get gas, bloating, all this stuff. So yeah, for with longer fasts, definitely follow the steps.
yeah. And you guys, if you learn the habits now, you're just gonna, no matter how long you're gonna
Yeah,
fast, what your period will be, this will become natural. So that's why I made a mistake. Don't want you to make a mistake. Help you out right from the beginning. Try it out.
yeah,
See how you like it, how it works.
yep.
Yeah. So that's it.
Um,
So that, I don't know. Do you want to add anything to that?
Not really. There was something 24-hour fast challenge. Are we there yet or not yet? Or
Yes, that's what I want to say. So, with
okay,
giving you
cool.
guys some tips, explaining some of these things, we want to help you along, do this with you, and do a challenge. We picked a date that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So, it would be the fast would be on Wednesday, November 27th. I am figuring that everybody will be busy, doing whatever they got to do to prepare for the holidays. So when your head is busy, you become a little bit less. You're more distracted. You will be easier for you to not to eat, basically. Um, so if you would like to join us for a 24-hour fast, we will start our fasting window on Tuesday after your last meal, whatever that will be.
So Monday is the prep day, and the 28th Tuesday is the 24-hour fast, right?
So no, no, no. So I'm sorry. So
Because you said Tuesday. So when are
yes,
we start? So are we kicking off? Our last meal is on Monday evening.
no. Our last meal is on Tuesday evening.
Oh, okay. So we have Monday to sort of mentally get ready, and
Correct.
then we are going to have our nice whatever breakfast, meal, lunch, what to call it, whatever, on Tuesday, and then we're going to pick a time on Tuesday, which is for people it's different, but it could be 3,
Correct.
4, 5, 6 p.m.,
Yeah.
and then we're going to go Wednesday until that exact time.
Correct.
All
Until
right,
that
that makes sense.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we will do. If you have any questions or any concerns, we'll try to keep reminding you guys, as well give you guys a little hints to prepare for it. We would love for you guys to join us. We're gonna do it. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll probably do a little separate post. If you're into the 24-hour fast challenge, you can just comment on the post, and then we'll know who's sort of joining along. You had some tips here. Drink at least 22.7
Yes.
liter of water.
Correct. So during this time when we are fasting, make sure you drink your water. Like I mentioned before, you want to drink 2.7 to 3 liters of water that day. Spring water is preferred than purified, because spring water will have naturally the elements that you will need, which will make you feel less tired during this non-eating window. Make sure that you, whatever you do end up drinking that day, it has no calories and no sugar. Okay. So do not go for your diet drinks. Stick to water, tea, coffee, and like Marcin said, you can there's a file that we have in our documents, right, that has all the things that you should not be drinking during a fast.
Yeah, if you're looking for the file, let me see if I can pull up. This is the QR code. If you're like on YouTube, you can just scan it with your phone. Go here. You're gonna get the options for the YouTube channel and Facebook. Click Facebook, and that will get you into the group. Group is open, public. You can just join, become a member. Inside the group, under files, you'll have the file that Joanna is referencing. So you
Mhm.
can basically go grab it, and this will give you a nice list of things you can drink during that time.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
And just one more thing, you guys, when you're doing this first time 24 hours and you really, really feel uncomfortable, um, because you think you're gonna die from not eating, because we all feel that once in a while, try a boiled egg. Boiled egg will not, it's enough of food for your brain to be like, okay, I'm getting some food, I'm not dying here, but not enough to break your fast. So you could take it to 24 hours. And of course, if you eat the egg and you're still not feeling good, then go ahead, break your fast. It's okay. You just, even if you push your regular window 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, you just did your body good, better than you did the day before. There's no loss in this. It's only gain.
Yeah.
Um, Next week, try again. I wasn't able to do it the first time I ever did it. Let me tell you. But that's how my body got used to it.
Okay, cool. So we have the challenge again, Monday 27th is the prep day. That's when we're starting in the evening, and then Tuesday we're continuing.
No, the other way, Tina. So we're
Oh, Monday is
starting.
the prep. Tuesday is the Tuesday first part of the day, and then we'll spell out the details in the Facebook group. But that's what it
Correct.
will be. So if you're watching somewhere else or listening somewhere else, make sure to hop on into the Facebook group. And two other things. So we're going to be actually, this is one of the challenges that we're preparing for you guys. If you're kind of more advanced, maybe you're doing 24 hours already. We are looking into creating a 48-hour and 72-hour for those maniacs that can push a little longer, and take benefits of those longer fasts. We're going to be doing this. We're doing one before Thanksgiving. We're doing one before Christmas.
Yeah.
And this will also benefit you, like Joanna was saying. There's no wrong in doing this, because even if we're gonna probably looking at consuming more foods and more stuff over the holidays, it's good to wait, to lose a little bit. So this way, even if you overeat a little bit, you're still in the same spot instead of gaining weight. And then for January 1st, we're gonna be actually ramping up, working on this sort of special thing for you guys, sort of a longer commitment for those that would like to commit and just join us along. More on this later. Right now, just focus on the 24-hour fast. It'll be a good entry level challenge, and I think that is it. If you
That's
know
it.
anybody that can benefit from the information that we're kind of sharing, if you like the content, please invite them into the Facebook group. We would greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube and you enjoy it, we would love if you could, give us a like or subscribe. So that matters a lot. Anything else? Any last words?
That is it, my friends. You fast on. Keep
All
going.
right. All right. Have a great one. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.